The PlayStation Vita is my favorite handheld system ever made. Ever. And it's a real shame that it never caught on like the 3DS did, because it's a very high quality product. Here I'm using the OLED launch model that I bought. It's sleek, comfortable to play, has a variety of media apps available, and has a large library of games ranging from PlayStation 1, PSP, and a variety of Vita exclusive titles. One of the biggest obstacles this handheld faced isn't the quality of games or power, it's the little things like expensive proprietary memory cards, which are essentially mandatory if you want to download any of the PlayStation Store exclusive titles. The launch models of the Vita have a mysterious slot on the top of the system that was never implemented. What was it for? In the instruction manual for the PS Vita, they call it the accessory port. Well, the Vita has 2 built-in cameras, so it's not for that. It has a built-in microphone and all the other features you could want from it, so what could it be used for? After some research, I found out the port specializes in video scaling. Yeah, that's right, Sony had intended for the Vita to be capable of being hooked up to TVs via a special cable that was never released. This isn't a foreign concept for Sony, as the later models of PSPs allowed for players to hook up a component cable to the PSP to play your games on the big screen. So, what went wrong here? Well, let me introduce you to the PlayStation TV. No, not that PlayStation TV. This PlayStation TV. I normally call the thing the Vita TV, as that's the official Japanese name, and it makes the most sense. It's also easier just to say. This was supposed to be the desperately needed life preserver that was going to save the Vita brand. The Vita TV has a USB port to plug in a DualShock 3 or 4 controller, an HDMI port for TV output, a memory slot for cards, a LAN adapter for NetPlay, and a hidden slot for a game card. Aesthetically, I think it's badass because of its minimal design. It's straight up just a game system, no flash or fanfare, just plug it up and you're ready to go. Keeping it simple. So let's talk about the good here. It will play most of your PS Vita titles, with the exception of some touchscreen compatible games. It still doesn't play some of the biggest titles like Uncharted or Gravity Rush, which is a shame for users that don't own a Vita 2. A few developers have patched their games retroactively to make them compatible, but that's a rare occurrence as the system has been all but abandoned at this point. The way I look at it, the Vita TV would have made for a great media hub. To this date, it's still not compatible with Netflix, even though the Vita itself is. Some users out there have found a glitch to access Netflix via PS4 Remote Play, but that doesn't matter because they shouldn't have to in the first place. It's a little ridiculous. Despite some incompatibility issues with the Vita apps, I felt like this system would finally be what Sony needed to get the word out about the games on the Vita. And how they would do that is through users streaming their Vita titles or uploading clips to YouTube or making their own reviews, except Sony put the kibosh on that by enabling HDCP. What does that stand for? Well, HDCP stands for High Definition Copyright Protection. It's a special signal that prevents footage from being recorded through HDMI. It's commonly found in most Blu-ray players and the PS3 and the PS4. Obviously, Sony isn't worried about kids capturing their game footage, as they included the share button on the PS4, so they kinda encourage it at this point. In reality, HDCP was enabled to prevent people from recording movies off of Netflix or Hulu and pirating that content. That's about it. As I mentioned, addition, the PS3 also had HDCP enabled. So if you wanted to capture footage from a PS3 game, you had to enable a workaround via component cables to record footage. So no HDMI, but yeah, components fine. So once again, a little pointless. Alright, so let's play devil's advocate here. The concept of HDCP on the Vita TV would be understandable, except for the fact that the PlayStation 4 added the feature to turn off HDCP for games in patch 1.7. So anytime you play a game, you can capture that footage with any capture card you want. So why does the Vita TV still have HDCP? Probably because Sony has given up on the system. Take for instance its price. It launched at a modest $100, but recently it's been on sale for anywhere from 20 to 40 bucks. Ouch. But fret not, streamers, there is still a way to capture footage of Vita games. This is an HDMI splitter. It takes in an HDMI signal from one device and splits it out to two output devices. Here's the kicker. It circumvents HDCP, which allows you to capture any and all footage on the PS3, PS4, and Vita TV, as well as other devices that implement HDCP. At the end of the day, what's the point of HDCP? There is no point. If pirates want to take video content or music content, they're gonna get it. HDCP prevents legitimate users from sharing their reviews or streaming Vita games live, thereby blocking free advertisement for Sony's products. And trust me, the Vita needs any help it can get. It's essentially helpful to no one. So Sony, if you're listening, I beg of you, please patch out HDCP from the Vita TV. It's kind of pointless, and it's one of the most requested features from Vita TV users outside of Netflix. And that's my rant about the Vita TV. At this point, it feels like I'm kicking the Vita TV while it's already down and on its way out of the door. But I think it's really important now more than ever that Sony allow its users to capture the footage they want to capture of the video games. Hell, you can even block it on all media apps. Just allow games to be captured. There are some excellent Vita titles that need more recognition. For those of you who want to learn how to capture Vita footage at home, check out my follow-up how-to video. You'll see the annotation above. If you like this video and you want to hear me rant about other video game related things, leave a comment below. Suggest a topic. Follow me on Twitter. Can you guess what kind of game I'm gonna review next? If you made it this far in the video, please comment, Reggie has some nice chin polish.
Hey! Oh my god, I'm sorry, cat.